no, like the lower one will be better to bring the highlights down, and the higher one will be better to bring the shadows up, and then they like combine it and stuff.
Are those like in newer cameras?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna get my hands on anything like that anytime soon. But it's
Sounds like a
technology. Yeah.
Sounds like a 16 grand and up camera.
Right. I mean, they'll probably have it in the prosumer types, which is usually like 2200-ish, I think.
That's not terrible at all.
Yeah, man. I mean, that new, that Blackmagic Pocket, that 6K Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, whatever. That's like became like the standard for prosumer cameras. I'm sure you've seen that one around. That was
I
around.
mainly use that one.
Yeah. That was like that came out around like 2100 or something like that. And then this new Nikon bought red. So they've got that Nikon ZR.
Nikon red?
Yeah, man. So it's like my Nikon ZF, but with the So I can use all my lenses already on that I already have on this like cinema camera that is out now. So I'm really looking forward to renting that at some point.
Why does Nikon gets all that hate, and then they just have billions?
I know, man. I mean, they've been at it for a long time, and like, you know, it would seem on the outside like Canon is so like prevalent everywhere and has been around long enough, has accessories, and Sony has, you know, like the high ISO, shoot in the dark, you know, they're making it is like the PlayStation of cameras. It's totally a
That's a good comparison.
Right. But Nikon is like if Sega kept on going.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, man. It says here that they got bought in 2024.
The red,
I'm just out of the loop at that point, because how did I not know that?
Right. I mean, it's that's not like they make big press conferences about this stuff. It's just I've got.
Why would you? Didn't
right. I think I only knew because I'm such a Nikon fanboy that like when that dropped, it was like people, the Nikon guys are like, oh, okay, this is going to turn into something.
That's a huge acquisition. Didn't Donald Trump give Nikon like billions or millions of dollars?
I wouldn't be surprised. You can't go anywhere without running into something.
It was like for pharmaceuticals, though. I'm gonna look that up. But can you introduce yourself? I'm horrible at intro. I know, literally. I'm like, it's weird, but introduce yourself.
Okay. What's up? My name is Eric Boso, and in no particular order, I'm a filmmaker, comedian, photographer, producer. Yes. Graphic designer, gotta have all the hyphens. Yes.
Hyphens, no slashes.
Jack of all trades, but not the second half.
Yeah. I went, for those of you who don't know, Eric runs a show every Wednesday and Sunday, right?
It's just Wednesdays.
Okay,
Wednesdays. This Sunday's like a feature.
Got you. But yeah, on Wednesdays, and it's at Reliable on High.
Reliable on High.
Yeah, no, I actually did really enjoy it. And yeah, I think you would too if you guys listen to stuff like this. So I was like, hey, I'm going to bring him on, talk to him anyway, because I knew he was interesting just from being online. But meeting him in real life, you get to see the full picture.
Right. And it's definitely the best context for everything to meet me there at the mic, because it's Reliable on High place. It's a cannabis boutique. They sell other stuff too, but it's such a big, nice space right there in the heart of Clintonville. Then they have an art gallery, and like I volunteered. One day I was just walking home and noticed that there was a weed store next to my house, and I had to volunteer to help them somehow. And I started out just doing their Instagram pictures, but like they have this beautiful space, and I started to curate the art gallery and started booking comedians and musicians. And they had an initial run of an open mic at one point, and that ended at some point last year. And then I started up a new Wednesday comedy and music and poetry and etc. mic over there, and it's been a real hoot. And we're I'm marketing mainly towards artists, and the comedians can be the audience for the musicians, and vice versa. And it's but I absolutely agree with you that people should come out if they're into literary and
there's some raunchy comedy on
The comedy you'll get there, but even just to hang out at the space, it's we're trying to foster a nice little community of intellectuals, as it were. And,
I know you got to say all the fancy words and everything to get people.
You're right. Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, it is a relatively safe area. It was pretty nice. It wasn't -2 degrees or whatever, so people came out. And it was a good time. It really was.
1000%.
What type of relationships do you have to have, or like concept of the relationship you even want to have to like build stuff like that, dude?
Right.
Yeah. Kind of got to be a man's man, or an every guy's guy.
Right. I mean, I'm sure from the filmmaking side, you've heard that actors are encouraged to make their own opportunities, as it were, and like dabble into producing and whatnot like that. When I first started stand-up comedy, I was already such a fan and like had already produced movies and whatnot. And I really early in my comedy career, like through shows, and asked other comics to be on, and I was weird and different, and I was pretty good for when I started early on, and people listened, and so I got into the habit of producing comedy shows pretty early, and then back on the filmmaking side, I had made a couple connections with musicians to do music for the films and whatnot, and I sometimes go down to Cafe Kerouac on OSU campus, and there's a bunch of hipsters and whatnot, but a big music crowd over there, and I'm incidentally friends with them. And once I started this up, I was able to just start encouraging. I had booked proper shows there, but I asked the musicians if they would appreciate another music mic in town, and what day would be best for them, and it all kind of, it's just from years and years of having all those hyphens I mentioned earlier. It's just building the network, and I guess somehow earning people's trust along the way.
No, you actually did a really good job. Like, I had never had someone pull the producer move on me that I do to people. I was like trying to get deeper into the conversation with you, and you hit me with the head nod when you went to go host again.
Yeah.
I was like, he pulled it on me. I took no offense to it, dude. It's pretty funny.
Right,
you see it being done to you, and you're like, oh, that's exactly what I do to other people. It was mysterious.
No, 1,000%. It's it can be I don't know. It's funny that like a Don Draper or a Detective McNulty from The Wire, sometimes the thing that makes you best at like your job that makes you like not the best person to get along with, you know what I mean? And when I am, producing something or like trying to make a space or this or the other, it's like whatever it is that makes me good at that is the order of my priorities of I should get this working first before this. I should we were having an important discussion, but I should move the show along to the next performer before
because you had told me something like magnificent about yourself.
That's right.
And then you were like,
you're not a jerk though.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
nobody. I haven't heard a bad word about you, so it's like, dude, like you do a good job, but it's still hard. Right? And most people don't understand. Like you're on a time constraint. More than anything. So you were probably just worried about that.
Yep. And it's some people it is hard to understand and whatnot, and I brush up against. But no, you've got the right perspective, and I'm glad your audience feels the same way.
No, they're not gonna. Trust me. All the church folk listening are gonna love you. It's all right. Right. Tell us how you got so many hyphens or so many slashes in your bio. Like, it's being multifaceted is part of being like American, part of being like a modern day human. Like, but I would love to hear where it came from. Right. Because comedy is like. People are funny, but like to say, hey, I'm a comedian, I do this. Say, hey, I produce movies and shows.
Yeah. It's actually, before going backwards, I'll say that it is good. I had a leg up for today because I think, between cell phones and the internet, I think everybody thinks they are, or are at least pressured to be, a photographer, a comedian, a producer,
definitely pressured.
Yeah, social media, manager, all this and that. But I grew up wanting to be just a writer. I wrote a short story in elementary school, and somebody at graduation was like, "Oh, this kid's going to Hollywood, and this, that, and the other."
It had to have felt good.
Yeah, it was great. It was the first
Put some hair on the chest a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like 5th grade or something like that, and I wanted to be a writer for a while after that, but like was always into movies and TV and video games and whatnot, and eventually, let's see, what would the order of that be? Movie adaptation came out in 2002, and that's what made me want to be a screenwriter.
You're talking about like parody movies?
No, it's adaptation is it's very so. There's this art house, crazy writer guy, screenwriter named Charlie Kaufman, and he made a movie called Being John Malkovich back in the day. It was really, it got popular. It's really weird and whatnot. And so the studios came to this screenwriter and they said, "Hey, can you adapt this New Yorker article into a movie?" And so in real life, the screenwriter is trying to adapt this story, but he gets writer's block. And eventually his screenplay becomes a story about him getting writer's block trying to adapt this story. And it's played by Nicolas Cage, and he has a twin brother also played by Nicolas Cage that's not real. Like, this writer doesn't have a twin brother. But it was just such a crazy, I think that was probably the first meta thing I encountered.
Fourth wall break type movie.
But also I knew I liked that part of it, but just the idea, it shows, it portrays a screenwriter. I'm like, oh man, I love movies, and there's somebody who wrote those, so maybe I want to be a screenwriter instead.
They make it look cooler than what it is, though.
Right? Oh yeah, 1000%. I mean, Nicolas Cage can do it.
He's do you see that the trailer for Spider Noir?
Oh yeah, man, yeah. And I'm happy they let him loose, and he's able to go full Cage, because he certainly does a couple moments in that. Yeah, man. But the hyphen journey. Okay, so the writer to screenwriter, and then at one point the extended edition Lord of the Rings DVDs came out, and they've got 2 discs worth of special features per movie on that. That's I think up to 24 hours long. And
oh my gosh!
I got a real appreciation for the crafts, hammer and nails, left side of the brain, making a movie then. And I was oh, okay, well, when I'm become a screenwriter, I'm glad I won't have to deal with all that stuff,
Boy.
Right. Little did I know. that later I went to OSU in Newark, and then transferred to Columbus State, and in my pursuit of an eventual film degree, I took a acting class just as an elective, and then for extra credit in that, you could try out for the play that semester, and I did that for extra credit, and I got in the play, and then did a couple more levels of the acting class and did the same thing, and did a few consecutive plays over at Columbus State. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, I guess I'm an actor type. I'll be like, people were already giving me shit for looking like Seth Rogen in high school, and it's like, oh, okay, this guy's But this I had okay, this guy, is a screenwriter and an actor, and is kind of funny, and is into that other thing that I'm known for. So it's like I was on track at that point. And then in 2013 I got cast in Bong of the Living Dead, which
Bong
Bong of the Living Dead, yep, which some of the old head film scene listeners of yours may remember. We shot that in 2013. It didn't premiere at Nightmares until like 2018, 17, something like that. But yeah, and I was to portray somebody that lived in Clintonville and smoked weed and watched a lot of zombie stuff and was prepared for it. And I was like, okay, I guess.
Years later, that archetype has not changed.
Right. It's but that movie definitely taps into a very specific mindset that I think kids still these days, if a zombie thing happened, I would do this, that,
It's kind of died.
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
Right.
Like nobody's on that, for lack of a better term. We're on like the Epstein files.
Oh right. Yeah. This is why
real life is way more fascinating.
Yeah. This is why media is important, man. Yeah. We want our kids to be worried about zombies, not.
You're saying a good point there, because
right.
I would be devastated if like a 5th grade child of mine would come up and be like, "Hey, did you see what's happening with the government like running a pedophile ring?" I'd be like, "Why do you know about that?
Yep.
What do you care?"
And you're a little bit younger than me, right?
I'm 29.
Okay, yeah. So you probably don't have memories of like 9/11 on TV.
No.
Okay, yeah.
I remember my dad took me to go get my brother because he was in school. He took us out because they didn't know what was happening. But I had a good day.
Right. It was just a Tuesday. That being in school, being everybody gathered in the library watching that on TV was definitely I'm maybe one of the first generations I'm the generation that was between the fantasy and the real. The internet was just young enough that it wasn't terrible, but the real world was well on its way.
I would argue the real world's always been this bad.
Right. We just don't know about it.
Yeah. B, we all got cameras and eyes on everything. It is what it is. But you kind of got to be able to act if you're going to write out the stuff, and vice versa.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like if you can't portray to somebody, if you're on set, what you're trying to say or give them their motivation, it's going to be a lot harder for the stuff to get shot well.
1,000%.
So that is good that you took those classes and that you got known for that. Right. It's interesting. Like there's no. And even it's probably way more segmented in like mainstream industry and Hollywood and everything. But even like filmmaking in Ohio and everything, as much as you try and segment it, everybody should know about everything.
Right.
It'll just help. It'll just help.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me some more about like why being funny is important to you.
Right.
Where's that come from?
Right.
Everybody loves to laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. I was always into it because, you know, if a funny idea popped up in my head, like it made, you know, me laugh, you know, and like as a kid, you know, I like slowly learned to share those thoughts, but I was usually, you know, just super quiet and whatnot. But at one point I realized, you know, when I decide to speak up and and you know, share how weird and sideways my brain goes sometimes, it's yeah, people find it funny as I do, you know, and I think
for those of you who don't know, he has a Paul Walker joke that like caught me completely off guard. I had no clue that Eric's humor was this dark, dude. I was like, come on, bro. Like, but it was hilarious. Yeah. And you'll alienate a lot less people than you think, just speaking your mind.
Right. And if something is, you know, as true as it is funny, or as you know, something that needs to be said, you know, that's why I don't know. I don't know, specifically for me, I like it because it gives me a way to spin my differences and flaws and whatnot in a positive direction. And like I know my flaws and my weird thoughts are definitely, you know, variable, but they are still human, you know, and other people have a little bit of what I have in them. And if I am able to speak to what is human, even if it is just this weird, the weird instincts that I have with, you know, wordplay or like assuming one thing and not being, that's one reason it's personally important to me. But at one point, once I started, it's kind of like pathology. And like I grew up a quiet kid, but now I totally have foot and mouth disease and like get myself in trouble. And like
you were definitely the quiet kid that would laugh at his own jokes in his head. That's cool. Like I can see it.
1,000%. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Aren't all flaws like perceived though? You know what I mean? I mean, besides
who is the standard? You know, what is the normal?
You shouldn't be like killing kids or nothing. Like that's like a definite. There's the definite, but after that, dude.
Right. It's like you know, and that's part of why, you know, I'm really into Mad Men. I don't know if you know that show, but
I mean, I saw the commercials on FX. You know what I mean?
These are ad executives, and the show's set between 1960 and 1970s. Okay. So it's like they're basically in the middle of this cultural revolution where, like, you know, we're coming from the 50s, Norman Rockwell, you know, everybody knows, unquote, the definition of normal, unquote, and then, you know, the 60s hippies, free love, you know, Vietnam, all this stuff happens, and like it's these guys' jobs to get a hold on, to continue to capitalize or to start capitalizing on that stuff and fitting all that stuff into, like, it was their job to define what is normal, basically. And it's like, oh, hey, you get a big car, you buy a Kodak brand camera to take pictures of your 1.4 children. It's like it was these guys, and like it's a great TV show.
So what, programming TV?
No, it's like at first it's like a newspaper and whatnot. It's mostly that and radio, and then one character is their TV guy, and like by, you know, I think third or fourth season, 1963 and 4, you know, definitely by the time Kennedy is shot, like it's he gets a bigger part, and like their TV ad buys are bigger, and but it's a really, I don't know if you've ever seen like a Silicon Valley or like a Halt and Catch Fire, but this is like one of these shows where it's like I care about the characters for sure, but like I care about this business. You know, I care
what's the
about
new one that Seth Rogen is in that they kind of talk.
Oh, the studio?
Yeah. So one of those type of shows.
Kind of. I guess I am concerned for the studio in the studio, but yeah, for sure. And it's like, Dunder Mifflin, people, it's there's no real stakes except for when Michael left.
I cared about the business though. I was like, how's this paper company? It's 2018 or whatever year it was.
Yeah, you care in the basic premise, but like in Mad Men, it's just like, man, are they gonna be able to get out of this? It's like I care about whether this guy's sticking to his contract or not, and they make it like influence the characters, and like the characters are reflective of like the society change, and it's just a hard recommend. It's by one of the same
I'm gonna have to watch it.
One of the writers from The Sopranos is made it, and it's very good, and it's not as violent and cursing-y as the Sopranos and whatnot.
My dad loves The Sopranos.
Yeah, man. It's a classic. I'm completely HBO pilled, but I am definitely a Sopranos person. All capital letters.
I do love that you like enjoy the logistics of the show, like inside of the show.
Right.
You ever seen Ozark?
I have not, but just through osmosis, I know. I've seen a couple episodes and all the way through. I know it's like a post-Breaking Bad, like plot mechanics, like this happened.
It's really good.
But I love everybody in it. Like that Julia Garner, like she was a guest star on The Americans or something, and like when I saw her on that, I realized, man, there's not much curly representation in Hollywood, man. Yeah. It's like Seth Rogen and her.
Yeah, we were talking about Julia Garner, curly hair.
Yeah,
curly hair representation.
Man, yeah,
is she a Jew?
Jewish.
I don't know.
Sorry, I don't care. For the listener, my dad is adopted, but I look maybe Jewish, maybe Greek, maybe Italian, something or other. Yeah, the grandmas of every of those type have said that I look like those. So,
You ever seen the Are They a Jew website?
No, really, man.
Yeah, but you can just straight query the internet to see who's Jew.
That sounds like a good resource.
Yeah. Are They a Jew? But yeah, no, she's fantastic in that show, dude. Her accent gets me every time.
Yeah.
She's like, I trust you, Marty.
Right.
But no,
and I know you don't curse much, and her character is.
She literally, yeah. Well, I'm constantly trying to like just not use perverse speech.
Right.
I mean, like the Bible says, but
for sure, yeah. No, I got you.
It happens, man. But no, why I mentioned Ozark was piggybacking off of Mad Men. Like they literally show you the business of how to launder money.
Right. Yep.
And you're truthfully hoping these businesses flourish.
Right.
It's an awesome show.
Man.
They have like an hour of the making of it, so check it out whenever. But
yeah, absolutely.
They, I think the main character was named after one of the restaurants down there. It's called Marty Bird's, and then Jason Bateman is Marty Bird.
Right. And it's not. Oh well, duh. In the Ozarks, right?
Yeah. I didn't even think it was a real place until I looked it up. I was like, oh, this is actually real. They did their research. Yeah, so it's freaking awesome. Go ahead and you were talking about curly hair representation. I'm gonna figure out if she's a Jew or not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was just basically it was something that endeared me to her early, and I was happy to see that she continued to get work and wasn't just a child actor type. And I mean, Weapons, lots of people saw, was a little divisive. All the horror people liked it. I
have not seen it yet, unfortunately.
It's interesting.
What was it like?
It's good. It's good.
She is Jewish.
Look at that. Married
Score one.
Yeah, and she's married to the guy from Foster the People, which is a band I liked back in the day too.
Makes sense.
I'm glad they hooked up.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, what was I talking about? Weapons or
something? You were talking about the controversy of Weapons.
Yeah.
Very sought after movie.
Yeah. But yeah, people saw her and she's getting work. And she was a Silver Surfer, and yeah. But you can't really, name another, actor or like pop star, either male or female, that has like crazy curly hair and just a white person. You know, it's like,
you think that's a Hollywood thing though?
I don't know, maybe,
because I'm looking through all of the women in the Rolodex. I'm like, yeah, no.
I mean, some of the our wavy hair, you know,
right,
and stuff like
clear
that.
Difference.
But nobody, no famous frizzy people like her, man. And yeah.
No, she's a beautiful lady, man, but also a great actress. So it's
1,000%.
Don't want to subject her just
and
to beauty.
And that's hard, man. You know, I mean, and you've worked with actors before. You know, it's kind of a double-edged sword where, like, you know, I think unattractive people and attractive people are the same amount of, you know, self-conscious, just in kind of like different directions. And like a camera will, and crew and everything will multiply that, you know, in either direction. So when there is like on both sides of the scale, like a Steve Buscemi
or ugly person's objectively,
right? Or like a, you know, like a Rose Byrne or a Rachel McAdams, somebody who is beautiful but is like clearly like acting to act and like into it and talented. Like those are the kind of performers that I like to work with and even foster and teach if I can, because obviously I have a bit of a IDGAF attitude, and like part of that did come from, you know, those acting lessons and, you know, performing on stage and whatnot. And once you're, you know, passionate and committed to like storytelling or your craft or whatever, it's always is going to be more important than you know, stage fright or being self-conscious or
being beautiful, being ugly.
Yep.
I mean, Julia Garner, she can act like Rachel McAdams can act, obviously, but then like and it's no knock to her, she's a beautiful lady. Sydney Sweeney, you can tell she's trying
for sure.
You know what I mean? But it might not be there yet.
She has a limited range, but she is good.
She can do good.
I think that arc in season 2 of Euphoria with the love triangle where she, you know, is crying in the mirror and everything, like in real life, you know, I've known, you know, the popular girl in that situation, and I'm like, oh, whatever, you're like, I'm not on your side, but her performance was so real in that specific arc of that show that like I know that she has it in her somewhere, but like I agree that she hasn't been used very well outside
could be
of that show.
Reasons. But she's with a real actress, like
right.
Zendaya can act.
Oh yeah.
Did you see Challengers at all?
Yeah, dude. And dude, the whole cast on. Oh yeah, I'm glad you saw it, man.
That movie's amazing.
Yeah, dude, and how they shot it and everything, and like,
it's freaking awesome.
Yep.
But anyway, sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I'm trying not to geek out.
I mean, part of why, I am a bit of a Euphoria defender for. I mean,
isn't it just teen drug drama?
Yeah, I mean, it is. You know, not the best example and stuff like that, but it's just shot so well, and like they elevate the stakes so well that to me it's like. It's almost like a Twin Peaks in terms of it being technically a soap opera, but like elevated to a point where it's like, oh, this is something else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so I just really, especially how that first season was shot, and then the second season had the arc about one of the characters writing a play about all their real life, and so I always like the meta stuff, kind of like that adaptation movie. So I'll defend that show. But again, it may be just because I'm completely HBO pilled, and
there's nothing wrong with that.
Defend everything.
I'm A24 pilled.
Right. Yeah, 1,000%. Yep.
Yeah. The only movie I have to watch is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Right.
Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. And then Weapons is A24 too.
Really?
Right? Yeah, I think so. Maybe that was Neon. Or
good thing we have the internet.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I love when because me and my wife watch movies and TV all the time, and like I tell her, I'm like, yo, like the dialogue is good here, but like, did you see how they shot that? Did you see how they
Right.
told you what the
Yep,
movie
yep,
was
yep.
going to do
Mm-hmm.
without saying a word?
Right,
That's
right,
just as
right.
beautiful as the dialogue or how it was delivered
Thousand
or anything
percent.
like that.
And
It's
those little details, man, like the things that you know, when two characters are having a conversation, like when you're looking at one of them, whether or not you see that the other character's shoulder blurry in front of them or not, or they're just separated in the frame,
mm-hmm.
like that can either imply a connection between those characters or an obstruction or something. It's just like it's those little details, those visual things you can do to yeah, as a director. It's just like when I pick up on other people using like mechanics or devices like that, I'm like, I see.
Yeah.
Add that to the Rolodex.
Are you
But
more inspired by that or by like people you know to do something really well? You know?
um yeah, I'd say it's more by the art than the artist. I mean,
Okay.
obviously there are some, like Edgar Wright, the Shaun of the Dead guy has a consistent
Scott Pilgrim versus the World,
technical, like
like
way of making things and has a visual language. But like I'll take stuff from anything, and it's usually because those camera motions or those character dynamics or those plot mechanics work that they become universal. And there's a difference between something being cliche and something being uh, real universal like that, in that like I think cliches can come from when people just want to do something that is the same, and then like when it's a trope, when it's something that's universal that you have seen before and it's done well, it's because you tap into why exactly it works. I
I mean,
remember,
that's why your show works too.
right?
Literally. If I mean, yeah, I told you guys already, but I did go for the first time and it felt nice to be
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's part of it being at reliable, but it's part of the people you curated to be there, the music that was there, the vibe,
Right.
even the lighting a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? How you hosted, it all plays into a regular consumer audience members feel. And if
Right.
I don't feel like being there or feel like
Right.
I'm wanted or feel like I can laugh at
Right.
some of
Right.
that stuff,
That's
I'm
why,
not going to.
producing and directing have kind of, become entwined with themselves for me
Mm.
in that way. And that's kind of why, producing shows is kind of like directing, and then I'm setting the tone and the pace and, the lighting and whatnot. So yeah, it's good stuff.
It's fun, man. It's fun. What else do people need to know about you? Like, do you
Man,
like do you have something that's a chip on your shoulder, like that you're like, hey, I have to get this out to the world, or are you
right.
just a fun-loving guy? Because
Mm,
you love fun. I've talked to you
right.
outside of being
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
mic.
1,000%, and I definitely do. I'll speed through it. I've shared this on various
Mhm.
interviews and whatnot, so I've gotten pretty good at it. But yeah, I was chronically ill for the entirety of my 20s. I'm on
Mm.
my second kidney transplant right now. Yeah, when I was like 22, 23, 24, something like that, I was editing some short film thing, and my legs started to swell up, and went to the doctor, and it was be some kidney thing, and like they started trying to figure it out, and weeks became months, and they still couldn't figure it out. And and then they gave me pills, and then like infusions, and then like rounds of chemo, and like different Dr. House type permutations of solutions to what was wrong with me. And they couldn't get it, and eventually had to go on dialysis. So I was on dialysis for a few years, and they continued to find correct diagnosis, and they thought they got one, and then they said, oh, they basically said, oh, you've got bad kidney disease. And so
Like, thanks. I
Right,
can
right,
feel
right.
that.
And so then eventually I got approved for my first kidney transplant, and I got that, and that lasted for like a year-ish, and then it turns out they were operating under a misdiagnosis, and it's not that my kidneys were just inherently bad, it's that my bone marrow makes a protein that even a healthy kidney can't process. So I got a kidney transplant from my mom, and her kidney died inside me from the same thing that killed my
My
original
God.
kidneys. So
Shout out to
yeah,
her.
I had to go back. I was absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's the biggest,
No
sacrifice you can
offense,
make.
is she
Yeah,
still with us? Like,
absolutely.
okay,
Yep,
cool,
yep,
cool,
yeah.
cool.
And
Dude, she's awesome.
for sure,
Like,
for sure. And
I'm gonna have
like,
to give her a hug.
yeah, and went back on dialysis, and eventually figured out the bone marrow thing. I donated some stem cells to myself, which miraculously through science was that the stem cells just know once they're in my bone marrow that my bone marrow needs this, this, and this, and they become those kind of cells.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and once that was all approved, I eventually got approved for another kidney transplant and got that in late 2023. But yeah, I am definitely having the medical issues. Very more grateful than the regular non-religious person. I am very spiritual.
There you go, man.
I will just just to put it out there that I don't think that the God or the infinite or whatever can be defined in a set
It's hard to quantify who
book,
God is. You know
or
what I mean?
whatnot. So yeah, I
Yeah, I
try to
got you.
keep it open
I
and
got you.
whatnot. But I totally respect people that like are uh, truly religious and not,
Yeah. I
the
respect even the people
organized.
that are averse.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, dude, like there's so much reality and in your face, like stuff like, with your kidney and everything. And also, thanks for sharing that.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't want to
thousand
minimize
percent.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to harp on it too much because it's not who you are. It's just
Right,
what
right.
happened.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that happens to people, and then I can completely understand why somebody's like, yeah, no, that all that God stuff doesn't
Right,
exist. You're playing with
right,
imaginary
right,
friends,
right.
like, and
Yep, yep.
that's okay to a certain degree,
Yep, and even people who like declare as like atheist or agnostic or whatnot, and like make a deal
I love you,
about it,
atheists.
are like ideally, it's like they are saying that they don't need that stuff to be a good person or whatever, and then
Part of that's true.
that is that is good, and I like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean, and it's just
yeah.
it's yeah, I love everybody, man. So it's a, and even and just if you don't want to stay in the medical land, I will just say that
You can go wherever you want,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, that it did instill, especially the obviously the gratitude, but being on dialysis really instilled a sense of patience, and
What is that? Because I don't know.
a dialysis?
Yeah, what is
Oh,
that?
okay. So there's these big machines that they hook you up to, and you got to do it 3 times a week, and they
Oh
basically
God.
do the job that a healthy kidney does. They filter out all the stuff in your blood, but to get to it, they got to put an access somewhere in you, and they either put a plug in or they give you these fistula things, which is when they attach a vein to an artery, and so it bubbles up. So I got this big old thing in my arm, and some people like touching it and some people don't. You can feel like the blood flow in between it, but basically,
Whoa.
yeah, man, like
It's like gelatinous.
right. Basically, they would put 2 needles in, and one would go out and get cleaned with the blood, and one would come back in. And I had to get my blood cleaned for 4 hours at a time, 3 days a week for years and years and years. So you're just sitting in a chair with a bunch of, other sick people, mostly elderly people that sometime one day don't show up again. And, it's a lot, man. And yeah, a lot of people don't know what dialysis is, but there's clinics, in every city with people that are going through that, and it's mainly older folks that hospitals don't want to they want to give all the organ transplants to younger people and whatnot. So it's pretty.
That does suck.
Yeah. It's pretty sad. It was easy to become depressed during that time.
Very logical that they would, but that's terrible.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And for a couple of years now, they're pretty close to being able to just invent a robot kidney, a self-filtering type thing. So hopefully this won't be a problem too much longer.
Yeah. Well, that was where I was going to go next. But first, how do you think your creativity got fostered during that time, or did it?
Oh, I mean,
was it hard to?
It definitely got refined during that time, but it was totally fostered by my dad. He was always wanted to be like a writer himself, and was into like Joseph Campbell and like stuff like that, and like he we would watch movies and play video games like all the time, and like he, even before like I even at least a decade before I even expressed interest in being a screenwriter, he just for fun for himself would download the screenplays for classic movies just to read side by side. That's
kind of cool, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's crazy how it's genetic,
right? Yep. I mean, it's either I couldn't tell you whether it's nature or nurture, because like he was definitely like that, but raising me, it was definitely like we valued the arts. So like I think he could have raised anybody and they would have turned into an artist or some at least somebody interesting, but
so that was from a youth, or like specifically that time too?
Yeah, I mean it was enough that I spent so much time writing that first short story in fifth grade. And I mean, I guess I was like probably subconscious at that point, but then I realized that I liked all this stuff, and I was watching Jurassic Park and Star Wars even more than the normal person. So yeah,
a lot of racism would end if everybody just came together by Star Wars.
Oh, dude, 1,000%. Yeah, man, and that's another thing. It's like the Joseph Campbell, the tropes, the universal stories. It's just like it's those. Star Wars got a pass for being so simple because it's about, hey, the bad guys are being bad, and sometimes it requires the good guys to step up and do something about it.
People do get mad at Fast and Furious for doing the same thing.
Well, like yeah,
it's fun. Right, it's a suspension from reality.
Right. Fast and Furious, that's more in service of the cars than the story. It's the acting.
Sure.
But
I get what you mean. It's the hey, like, why are you making this so obvious type thing? But that's the beauty of some movies. I don't know if you saw Begonia or not.
I have not. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for people, but I can imagine it ends in either one or of two ways.
You guys don't see his face, but I do. The way your face said the end, that's how it ends, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hope it ends in the.
That's what made it fun, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, but most I feel like movie critics are dead. Like the audience is the movie critic now, but like I feel like the people who criticize it are criticizing it because of it, or because of the tropes that it plays on. It's like, so what, dude? Like, let it happen.
Okay, well let's
let it happen to you, though, Eric.
Right. Let's break and spoil this. Like, so you like that, and like from what I'm gleaning from the trailer, because like they think this. Big pharmaceutical rep is actually an alien, and like the controlling stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I'm and it's presented as them being paranoid, but then I'm assuming it turns out that it is, and things go crazy and whatnot.
Spoiler, you guys, please don't skip, because still I'm one of those guys, and I hope everybody listening to, like, who cares if a movie gets spoiled for you? Right. We're grown ups, so you can still watch it and enjoy it.
It's spoiled for me, and I still want to see it.
Exactly, man. And you should watch it. Like, I went to go. I love going to movies by myself sometimes, like just late at night, just go to a random theater, whatever. But yes,
but I'm sure you related to that thematically because the big shadowy conspiracy stuff is becoming more.
It's prevalent,
slightly transparent, and people are aware of that it's not quite a conspiracy. So it's like that's why the thematics, the theme of it, and the tropiness of it, I think, hit with you. That's my theory with you in that.
Oh yeah, I'm a theme lord.
Yeah.
I'm a theme lord. I do like that, like the Sith Lord. I'm a theme lord. So yes, it did end the way you think, right? She ended up being an alien, but there was a scene, right, where she was getting electrocuted, like electroshock therapy.
Yeah, just trying to get her to tell the truth.
Yeah, and the sound was so bad, like it was so permeant, if that's a word. It permeated throughout the entire thing. It was like,
like David Lynch type.
And she was screaming. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is hard to watch. After he was done, he was like, I didn't know you were royalty. I thought you were just one of these peasant aliens. Turns out she is royalty, and that's why. Right. And it was a play on like how people think Elon Musk is an alien. Right. I don't know if you know the story. Elon's parents read a story about a guy named Elon.
Right.
Yeah, literally, that takes over the world.
And then they name it after him. Yeah.
And then he actually takes over the world and is trying to go to Mars. Those themes, you can actually instill that into real life, when people are like, man, Fast and Furious, it's all about family and guns and cars. It's like, don't you have all three of those?
Right, for sure.
So yeah, I like Bugonia because of how well they did what we knew what was going to happen. There was a point in time in the movie where it was teetering on whether she was or wasn't, and I think that was the point of the movie.
Right.
It was just
the fact that there's no difference between these big pharma reps and a crazy alien type. Yeah,
there's literally not though. You haven't seen the movie, but the reason why Jesse Plemons, he was fantastic. The reason why he was awesome in that movie as that character is because Emma Stone did an experimental treatment on his mom that turned her alien-like. You know what I mean? And he's like, the mom is like, "Hey, they're coming after you too."
Oh, that's such a great setup.
It is a good movie, dude.
Think that he's inheriting her.
It is a good freaking movie, bro.
That's a good,
And people are like, "Oh, you're trying to sell this because you're trying to alien core me to death or whatever they're saying."
Right.
And it's like
Yorgos is just being weird to be weird.
He's just being weird. Did you see Poor Things?
Yeah,
he's just being weird, and it's good.
Yeah.
There's this other movie because I did another podcast episode about this. I can't think of it. Whatever. It's an audio adventure, but it's about this lesbian couple that moves back to one of the girls' hometowns, and then there's a school that she used to be a part of that like gets really weird and like takes their kids and like indoctrinates them. Dang, I have to look it up. But anyway, it's one of those where you know what's going to happen. You know it's weird, and you can't help but watch it. It's a train wreck. You know what I mean? Yeah, Not that it's a bad movie, but it's like, I have to see this car crash. Much like your Paul Walker joke.
Right. Yeah. Is it kind of like a conversion therapy, like a metaphor type thing? Is it's like a straight up horror, or is it?
It is conversion therapy type metaphor. Yeah. This is why I like talking to you because you're smart. You can articulate things that I can't. Dang, I can't think. Yeah, it's called Wayward. Canadian mystery thriller limited series by Mae Martin. Mae Martin's also a comedian.
So it's like a oh really?
Yeah.
So it's like a British season of TV or like a limited like a short type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had watched it when it came out, probably like 2 weeks after it came out. Loved it, binged it. Right. I go online and people are like, "Oh, Netflix is just pushing the gay agenda."
Right.
And it's like. Okay, whether that's true or not, and it is true, it's still good TV.
Right. I mean, it is the. I mean, to broaden it from the gay agenda, it is the corruption of the word and idea of woke. You know, woke is good. Well, they're supposed to be good. You are aware, you are awake to something that other people are asleep to. It's just like because it's been, switched around with the culture war and all that stuff. But yeah.
It definitely got hijacked.
For sure, 1,000%. And it's sort of like the cliche versus trope thing. Like some people will, do their, colorblind casting and gender blind casting and this or whatever just to do it, just to have it or whatever. But people who do it and do explore these themes of sexuality or like racial diaspora or like and integrate it into those timeless type of things, it's better. Obviously representation matters on that level, but like it inspires. It lets those people with those specifics in on those universal things, and it lets them share their version of the universal things. And like me being a specific weird guy tapped into universal stuff, when I express those things, they're entertaining and artful and this and that and the other. So I think it is a good idea, but agree that it has been co-opted.
It definitely got hijacked by whatever people are smoking drugs and making this stuff, and that's okay. But
more the money people that pay those guys salaries.
Those are the guys that are smoking and taking the drugs.
Well, I mean,
they are.
The artists are smoking different shit than the producers.
True. I was like, Eric, it's like they're definitely taking drugs and telling people what to do. Whatever. But it's like the hunting wives. Have you seen that? Okay, so it's again gay agenda type stuff, but it's based in Texas, and you know how Texas is, very Christian, very hetero, right?
Right.
And they flip that trope and center it around the wives and the relationships with the wives and how they're controlling and moving things and influencing what's going on in politics and government.
It's
and
like a Real Housewives type.
Yeah, but it's like it's better.
Right?
But you got to admit that being woke and all the stuff that we're talking about, like even challengers, like there's a right way to do it. There is a right way to do it. Bugonia, right way to do it. I can't think of a wrong way to do it right now. You probably could, but your movie knowledge is way more extensive than mine.
Right, for sure. And I mean, like even specifically, like challengers as much, polyamory than homosexuality. It's just like,
it wasn't just gay.
There's exploring the nuances of things that you're not a part of. I think lets me understand the things that I am a part of a little bit better.
Yeah, lets you know, like, oh, I had both parents for a reason.
Right, absolutely.
Things. I'm sure Euphoria, one of the main characters doesn't have a family member there.
Right. Euphoria is a Stranger Things like in that nobody's parents are like doing anything.
Yeah, we got to talk about that at some point. Maybe a different episode. Yeah, just nobody's actually trying to help.
There's literally no good dad in Stranger Things.
I thought the cop guy.
I mean, I guess as a Joel in The Last of Us, a father figure type thing, but in terms of literal fathers,
like actual help, yeah,
like there's nobody, man. Like Winona's ex is gone, and I'm sure Hopper was a good dad, but his kid is dead, and like none of the other kids. It's just the one boring Wheeler dad, and then I think Max just was with her mom and brother. It's just like literally you don't know anything about Dustin. He's just wandering around.
This is why I stopped watching the show. I stopped watching it after season 1, or probably like mid season 2. I was like,
right. I think season 3 is a good stopping point because that has the most colorful 80s stuff in it, and like the big action climaxes in a mall in the 80s. It's just like that just max out on the aesthetic. It's good stuff.
That's good, man. That's good. Let's get back to you a little bit, dude. What do you see? You're doing all the events. you shot a few movies. Like, is there anything that you would suggest people that like love you and want to hear from you and are interested in you to actually watch of yours?
Yeah. I've gotten to a point now with my short films that they're all the good ones now are old enough that they can't get into film festivals and whatnot. So I'm considering
there's an age limit.
You can't submit something to like Sundance if it's been made before February 2025 or something like that.
Okay, I guess that's
it's
fair.
one of those type things. Yeah. And so I'm considering moving my short films from private on Vimeo over to YouTube. I do feel a little bit weird because like the second anything, whether it's a short film or like a lesson, anytime it lands on YouTube, it just becomes a video.
Yeah,
it's no longer like a movie.
That sucks. That does suck.
But like it will be good to get that stuff out there. But I'd say the thing that got me real notoriety was back in early 23. It was a short film called Spencer and Penny Forever, or the pencil movie some people may know it as. And I made that for a winter film competition down in Cincinnati.
Shout out Winter Film.
Yeah. You know what? I think by the time this episode drops, I will put that on YouTube, and you can find the link in my Instagram bio, which is just at Eric_Boso_. And that's also the best place to hear about any comedy events I'm doing, or any screenings of movies, or if you want to hire me as a photographer, I do that as well. If anybody needs a social media manager for their small business, I'm getting into doing that as well. But yeah, if you're curious about all my hyphens, I do most of my stuff through Instagram. And if you're still on the old Facebook, I am too. But yeah, I've got both a page and a profile, and they're both public. So that's how you can catch up with me.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just distribution.
Yeah, 1,000%.
It sucks.
If you do any of those things, come out to Wednesday Art Mic over at Reliable on Heim.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Talk to me in person.
What type of people
what
should be there? Like, could I pull up with 5 minutes of a short film and be like, hey, put this up?
We just yesterday got a TV and a cart and whatnot. So I might start screening some of my stuff in that gallery room. But yeah. I will have some short film links in my link tree in my Instagram bio by the time this drops. And I am kind of a best kept secret type of person, because the people that have seen the stuff at these competitions that I've made and whatnot, and the artists that I work with know what I'm capable of, but I don't really advertise myself that much. But
you got a lot of humility, dude.
Yeah,
for real. Like, I mean, I've only known you for a couple of days, like, and met you in real life the last 2 days, but it's something that should be commended. You know, most people in your position, I know I have been in that position before, where it's like, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I do, so you know,
right?
And that gets back to like alienating people, but you're the opposite.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, I never really struggle with pride, as it were. I see it as a self-love, a self-worth type thing, but it can be stressful at times, because sometimes I just want to go up to whoever's gets the GCAC grant or the this or that or the other, and just say, dude, do you realize if I had a a secure location and a cast and crew that I could turn, a $20,000 budget into a multi-million-dollar grossing film. But then I know that by that point I sound pretentious and full of myself and whatnot. But that's just I know that I know what I'm doing the way I want to do it.
And once you get that, when it happens, you'll know exactly what to do and where to put the money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
That's something I had to cope with. It wasn't about like, oh, I'm jealous that these people got this. It's like, I don't have the opportunity to show what I actually want to show.
Right.
And getting comfortable with failure, dude. It's perfectly okay. Like, you shouldn't macro fail and like, be a jerk to everybody, this, that, and third. But there's so many movies that don't get put out. There's so many scripts in script hell. It's almost impossible if you're gonna do it at a level that you want to, not to fail at it a few times.
Right. And that's
we're just talking about mine.
Right. Yeah. And even going through it now, like I put everything into my scripts for these time-based competitions where it's just like, professional people are getting gigs and schedules are changing and, your location is this, that, and the other. And it's just like doing absolutely everything in your power to make it as beautiful as like the script and the idea is in your head. Like that's where the director and the producer and sometimes the guy that has some priorities over other priorities, might ruffle some feathers, but yeah, it is a struggle and it is an exercise, and we're all failing and learning all the time and whatnot. I am just excited to apply all the lessons I've learned to something that doesn't teach me something else. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
Yeah, but I feel like I've done it a couple times. Like that pencil movie, it won best at the thing it was at. It won both Best Picture and Audience Award.
That's a stat, dude.
Yeah.
And I would have never known that unless you said something.
Right.
Or I would have watched the movie and be like, oh, Eric did this with that. Why didn't he say anything?
And it's like, man, it's when you are successful at it, you do feel it, but it is I think a humility. You said that's the right word for it, because I do believe you can separate the art from the artist. People are listening to Kanye and Michael Jackson and all that.
Love
stuff
Kanye
still.
West.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Wait, Michael Jackson? Wait. I heard he was protecting those kids.
Right. Well, some people are now saying that he's vindicated with all this. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we're not the judge.
Right. But with separating the art from the artist, like that includes myself. Like,
okay.
So like once I'm listening. Done and everything, like even if I did, write and edit and do everything, it was still a collaboration, and like it is something outside of myself, and people, will give me compliments on that pencil movie, especially when I'm down in Cincinnati, where like that was based, and like it's not an active choice. The humility, it was like I tapped into that thing that already existed in the in the universe of ideas out there, and I was able to bring it into our world. And it's not me, man. I'm just a good listener, a good fisher for ideas. That's what David Lynch did. That's what he was into, the transcendental meditation, and he was under the impression that like he was going somewhere and like fishing for ideas, and like it was completely outside of it. Yeah, I mean, it's true.
You are
true.
though. Yeah. It's now I have to watch this movie. You sent it to me on Facebook, right?
The pencil movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. The speed of business, the speed of podcasting goes way faster than consuming movies, unfortunately. So I can talk to somebody faster than I can watch a movie.
Even a short film.
Well, you gotta.
I didn't give you that link until half an hour before we started this. So.
Here's why modern day sucks, right? Just in general, because people feel like if you haven't consumed everything about somebody or what they've done or their output, or if you haven't seen something of theirs, that you're automatically not a fan or you're adverse to them. And it's like, no, dude, like allow people to learn. You know what I mean? We're just at the speed of light with most of this stuff, and we can put this episode out faster and I can watch the movie. Right?
Yeah.
So it was the same thing. Do you know Nathan Widener? You know who that is? Nate? Good friends with Lewis Gordon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I hadn't. He recommended the movie before we did the show, and then we did the show. I hadn't seen the movie, and then I watched it after, and it made the movie better after I talked to him, because I'm like, here's another thing. Like, yes, you're talking to me, I'm talking to you. But if you recommended a movie to me, I still have to want to be open to watching it. You know what I mean? Like, and just like you said, with separating the art from the artist, like a lot of that doesn't happen still. Like, and I think that's just a universal trait that most creatives have. Oh, you didn't like this one thing I did, so you don't like me. Or you didn't watch this, so now why would I give you the time of day? It's like, no, that's stupid.
Like, and that's part of it's kind of like what celebrity is. I remember one time I came up with this theory that at one point somebody did a really good cave painting, this caveman type person, and then like a bunch of other cavemen were like, hey man, that's really cool, and they started treating him good and whatnot, and then other people noticed how they were treating this artist caveman, and they were like, I don't want people to treat me like that. Maybe I should try to paint cave paintings and whatnot. And it's like, I think that is so ingrained in
that's
like
it's almost in our DNA.
Yeah. Like on a human level, that like artists need fans. But I think for some people, and then this is I think there are artists and entertainers and craftsmen, this and that, the other. But I think artists like I think they would be doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what that's part of, I think, how I can tap into the humility. It's great when I meet a fan, but I mean on a local level, I don't have fans. I just have peers, or like family of peers that happen to be at the screening or a comedy show or whatnot.
And we stopped being cool with that. People were like, oh, I need these 30 to 50 people realistically that would come in and have never seen it to fall in love with me all of a sudden. It's like, no, dude, like you should A, be doing it because you feel called to do it, B, because you want to, and C, because you want to show it to people that do it too.
And
the audience is really last.
Right.
Not you guys. Not you guys.
Except for the podcast.
I'm talking to you guys directly. I love you all. I'm giving you a hug with my voice. But it's serious. I'd be doing it anyway. I'd be having these conversations anyway.
And it almost is a separation of art from artist thing, where it's just like I want to share the movie with people, not that this guy can make this kind of movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
it does feel good.
Yeah. When people are, I mean, obviously they're expressing that they are fans of the movie, but it feels like they're fans of me. But I know that it's just like, hey,
by proxy, they're fans of you.
Right? Yeah, that's true. It's true. You like the ideas that I happen to catch out of the ether. So
but even that's humble, bro. Like saying like, oh, I just catch this out here. This is because me, I'm like, yo, this is what I've been thinking of making this whole time, and this is how you're very recent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why you're successful.
Yeah, I am. I'm successful in the process of the art itself. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think. Oh yeah, I mean, as much as some things may come naturally to me now, especially after internalizing and doing it. Like I don't know how I don't know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. I don't know how to pay my taxes. I don't have a driver's license. Like there's plenty of stuff that I don't know to make up for the stuff that I was, fostered both by my dad and, all those, the theater program, all the things that I happened to fall into. And then just, we were talking off mic about how every rock star wants to be a director, wants to be a comedian and whatnot, and I think
wants to be a drug lord.
Right. That's all. Yeah, the real Rick Ross.
Great story.
Right.
Good. You were saying.
The more I'm in and around those folks and those processes, the more that I focus in on it, and being an actor definitely helped in comedy, and being a comedian has helped me being an actor, and being a writer has helped. And it's all informed. All my different hyphens have informed each other, and that it gets to a point where, as director, what we do is just making the call of, what to do with all those, And there's a line in the movie I'm making now, which is, it opens with a screenwriting class, and then the guy says that we use the narrative context of our scripts and the various disciplines of filmmaking to communicate the ideas that we can't articulate with words.
Yeah, I need a pipe to even understand what you just said.
Right, man. I mean, it's basic. I know. It's. I mean, exactly what I was talking about with the Bible and God. It's just I'm trying to define this infinite thing in one sentence
through an imperfect filter.
Right. But it's that's
using, very
profound. The narrative context. This is this person's sister. And then the disciplines of filmmaking. You shoot it like this, and the music is like this, and you communicate that kind of sisterly relationship or whatever without saying, I'm kind of upset with you, but because you're the younger sister, this, that, you know what I mean? It's just it's communicating you mentioned I said I communicated something without even saying it earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, how they shoot and they tell the story without using dialogue.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. It's all in service of communicating ideas, which is I think of what we're here for, whether there's a grand design or not, So.
Yeah. Amen to that, dude. I love talking about it, and a lot of people don't. I've gotten kicked out of Facebook groups for talking about AI and stuff like that.
Right.
AI, wish I was better at making movies.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay.
I was hoping you got that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No, but what have you seen Sea Dance 2.0 at all?
That's the newest
China.
Right. Yeah. Okay, and that's the one that doesn't have the celebrity. People are able to use actual people in that one.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Yeah.
Well, you can't use them for anyone, but what okay, I've heard VFX is going to get killed. I've heard Hollywood is dead. I've heard Hollywood is dying anyway. So what's your take on how it's going to affect movie makers, not necessarily the movies itself? You're very much hey,
right.
I'm gonna do this anyway.
Right,
I can tell.
Right, for sure. I don't know, man. I think you saw the responses to all the AI Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah, but they were bad. Yeah. If they were good,
I mean, that's the one. The easier said than done, man. It's every AI thing I've seen. After a few years ago, it was just this is technically impressive, but if this were good, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a performance thing. It's as a cinematographer and somebody who likes lighting and stuff. The fact that they can get all this stuff
insane.
Is consistent.
Yeah. For those of you who can't see, we're
impressive.
watching Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali like train for a fight. They couldn't even spell discipline right unless they were making fun of Mike Tyson, and that was hilarious. But yeah, no, like I mean, the stuff is not magic, dude. It's very complex math that they're doing very fast through a computer, right? Yep, so it is a performance thing at the end of the day. Like even there, you could see their face was distorted. Was that P. Diddy, bro? Yeah. But yeah, no, I think you're right. Like, there's nothing that's going to replace a human actually doing this stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no matter what technology comes out, like, yeah, it's cute. Yeah, it's cool. And I was on the other side before. I was like, hey, like, you can get your idea out. You can get proof of concept out faster than ever, which is true. But, like, you know, making full movies out of it, it's a lot less practical than people want to give credit for.
Right. And I hear, you know, like if you buy a hamburger, it's wasting as much water in the process of the farm to the driving the meat to this as you know, a ChatGPT prompt or whatever. So like I'm hearing that maybe not as big. Don't hold me to that, but in terms of just creatively, I mean, I think it's like you know, I was saying how cell phones, you know, everybody is a photographer and a model under this now. It's like with this. That might be, you know, the end of it. You know what I mean? Because like,
explain a little bit more, just so I can get what you're putting out.
Because I even said this last night. How you know, how all this has been getting funding is, you know, by the, you know, billionaire interests who like believe that they're futurists, that like, oh, this will replace film, I will invest in this and whatnot.
Tech is going to replace humanity.
Right. And like obviously AI grew big and whatnot, and you know, political funding is the same way, and that's how we got our current president. But that's also what happened with NFTs. And that bubble eventually burst.
No, bro. I mean? NFTs had real potential if people like they really did, because the technology behind, not the freaking, it's not the art, it's not the painting that people. I know. It's literally the transaction that was non-fungible, and people literally, for lack of a better term, crapped on it because of
they grafted it to JPEGs.
And it's like we could have been in the future already. We literally could have been.
I got the
little.
I get the math of it for sure.
And that's just unfortunately that's how it works. Like if there was a space heater right here and it was cold, you wouldn't understand that it was actually heating you if you didn't see like the red coils light up or a red light. Like, you know, it's. So people need to see it actually tied to something. But the tech was there, dude. It was there 4 years ago. And we're never going to get it again. Well, we will, but it'll be.
I mean, they shifted to like crypto and stuff. And that seems to be, you know, there's crypto extensions on like Cash App and Venmo now. So that seems to be where that stuff landed. But yeah, I mean, this technology will probably still be around specifically for, you know, recreating like performances and whatnot, or like maybe de-aging people and whatnot. But like images are great, but the scripts and
of course not.
And the ideas are they are cliche, not trope.
Yeah,
they are using the things that have been used a lot because they have been used a lot, not because they are universal.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that Dunkin' Donuts de-aging commercial.
Oh yeah, from the Super Bowl. Yeah.
But
that one at least was funny and was mostly de-aging and stuff. It wasn't completely fabricated.
Everybody in the party that I was at, they were like, "Why does it?" They couldn't even enjoy the commercial because they're like, "Why does everybody look like this?" It would have been much cooler if they just faked like they were younger. Right. To me, anyway. But
a couple of them I thought was fake. I mean, that one. Speaking of fidelity, I mean, I think that one looks technically good, and I liked the human written jokes in it, and I'm okay with this.
That's okay. It is, but also you know who's behind it.
Right.
Ben Affleck, he's like he does this. The only reason he said he's probably going to stop soon is because his children are getting older. But he's been ever since Project Greenlight, which actually it's a whole different topic, but he's been doing that since then. So it looks good, but like you said, I there's no way I would let AI write anything
right
of substance.
Right, yeah.
Maybe idea generations, but even then you're gonna derive what it did into your own or into another fraction. So
like those morph cuts, like if you need to get 2 shots, then I mean there are applications, but it is not going to every self-proclaimed entrepreneur, that is doing this and just like, hey, I'll give you points on the back end, give you this, that, the other. It's like, it's another thing for hyper capitalists to chase what they think is the American dream.
The edge.
They should save money and go to film school and do this and that. I'm not that at all.
I was like, you're sounding a real old man.
Go out and like make your own shit, but like go out and make your own stuff and don't ask a computer to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said this last night or not, but like asking AI to draw your picture or make your movie is like me asking Stephen Hawking to tell one of my jokes. Just something in the,
You watch Kill Tony, right?
This is a whole other story, but back in like 2008, 2009, I was all in on Joe Rogan and Kill Tony and whatnot, but then politically I had to start distancing myself, and and Joe will occasionally have interviewed somebody that I like a lot, and but Kill Tony specifically, I love the format and idea of the show, but even back then he was starting to get mean and crappy towards especially some of the women comedians. So
I don't like that, but some of them dudes do deserve it. They'll come up and try and be mean to him.
Oh well, I mean, he started. I mean, if we came up and said, "Hey, let us judge 1 minute of your short film,"
God,
it's just like
we would be hated.
Yeah, I mean, it's like man. I think he Tony specifically let it go to his big old head and teeth.
This big old gay head.
Okay, 1,000%. He's got to be one of those. Yeah.
He's not gay. But I was just bringing that up to say, like, they got the guy in the wheelchair that does I don't think he's in a wheelchair, but he like does type the Stephen Hawking type response. That's why I was tying it in.
Right.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, plug your socials again. We pretty much did it, dude. Dude, absolutely. Feel free to come back on anytime.
Oh, dude, that's for sure. I would totally do this. Yeah. We should check out, maybe does the Whetstone Library have stuff like this?
Whetstone? I'd have to see.
Okay.
I'd have to see.
Yeah, mostly both my Instagram and Venmo are Eric _Boso _. That's BOSO. You can see that in the episode title right now, can't you? And then on Facebook, it's just facebook.com/eboso, EBOSO. And I'm now verbally committing to putting some of my older shorts up on the.
It's a verbal. It's a verbal. Nothing's in writing, guys. His opinion could change right after we turn this off.
All right, but come out to Wednesdays at Reliable on High, and if you are one of these people that practice alternative medicine, you can. Peruse the business as well, but they have CBD and other stuff, and then like lotions and like it's not just for stuff like that. And I curate the art gallery there, and it's just a cool place. It's right next to Cornerstone in Clintonville, and we're trying to curate a community. Other than that, probably if you're a fan of this guy, see me at a 48 or a MOFA thing or a winter film type stuff. I am part of the filmmaking community.
Hey, I love it, man. Dude, I honestly, this is way better than I anticipated, but I didn't expect anything. So, no. But you're awesome, dude. Yeah, I love your ability to not only communicate but like be gentle about it too. Yeah. So, thank you, dude. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, and it's perfect to close on. Part of what I didn't mention is that I've been listening to audio only podcasts also since it was like 2006 or something. It was some of them they were only on iPods and through iTunes and whatnot. So like that, I think there's no way that in half my waking life I'm listening to audio only podcasts. So I think that really has impacted my ability to communicate, and doing one yourself is good for stuff like that. And I encourage other people that if you're listening to this to go out and, instead of watching a podcast on YouTube, just pop in your earbuds and listen and go for a run and do your chores and whatnot. And you can really just learn
get
so much. And it's a great time.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome back anytime. I love you. I love you guys. And you guys know where to find me. So I'll see you later. Bye. Peace.
Bye.